Hey guys, this is Alex from the Melco Applications team, and today I'm going to show you how to embroider knit beanies. Today I'll be using a 5.5-inch mighty hoop alongside a pretty heavyweight tearaway just to provide some extra support for my beanie. And we'll also be using a piece of topping. I've got a permanent marker just to mark my center point here later on. Now first I'll go ahead and prep my hoop. I'm securing my backing to the hoop to make it a little easier to fit inside the beanie. I'm using a backing holder ring to do so today, but if you don't have one of these, you could just use a little bit of masking tape or something to stick the edge of your backing to the back of the hoop. Now that that's prepped, we'll set that to the side. I want to embroider on this folded edge of the beanie here, so to give me a little better access, I'll just go ahead and turn it inside out. Now we'll grab our hoop and fit that inside the beanie. We want to be careful not to stretch the beanie too much because once this comes out of the hoop, any of that stretch will constrict back down and it could cause puckering around our embroidery. So once this is inside, you'll see that I've actually got a little bit of space between the edge of my beanie and my hoop here. I'm doing that intentionally because my design's pretty big and I want to get it as close to this edge of the beanie as possible. So I'm letting it float around here so I can just actually fit it between this crease and this edge of my beanie. Once I'm happy with that placement, I will lay down my topping. We'll get this hooped up, making sure that this notch on my hoop is facing the opening of the beanie, because that's how it will be loaded on the machine. Press that in place. Now, when I load this on the machine, it's going to be pretty hard to find that center point between the crease of my beanie and this top edge. So I'll be using a marker just to put a little dot kind of in the center there. I'd usually recommend using a ruler or something if you want to be extra precise. Since I'm marking on top of my topping, I'm not very concerned with this mark staying there because this topping will be removed later on or it will be sewn over, so you're not going to see that Sharpie mark on the beanie itself. But if you want to be extra careful, you could always use either a corner of a piece of tape or a water-soluble marker to make that mark instead. Now we can take it to the machine. Before we get this on the machine, I'll go ahead and remove my backing holder ring. I don't want this to fall off while we're sewing, so I'll set this aside. Then we can get the beanie loaded onto the machine. I'm going to make sure that the bottom of the beanie clears my sew arm as this sits in place. Now that the beanie is loaded on the machine, I'm going to move my hoop using the arrow keys on the touchscreen until my laser lines up with the Sharpie mark that we made earlier. Once I'm happy with that, I'll go ahead and trace it. And now we can talk about our machine settings. I'll go ahead and set my active feed minimum to around 8 points. Then we'll bring our speed down to around 1100 stitches per minute. And I've already set my presser foot height to about 3 clicks up from the bottom. With our beanie on the machine like this, we don't need to flip our design around. Once this is unhooped and turned back inside out, the orientation of the logo will be correct. Now we can go ahead and start the machine. Now that the beanie's done embroidering, we'll go ahead and take it off the machine. Got our final embroidery there. Now I'll unhoop it. We'll set our hoop aside. We'll get this topper off. If there's any excess topper left inside of my design, I'll usually take a little bit of water and I'll spritz the surface of this and then take my excess topper and dab the rest of it up. We'll also remove my backing. We'll turn this back inside out. We've got the final product.